Okay, hey guys and gals, this is Alex with Exchange Commercial Real Estate here in Kansas City, coming to you with the Multifamily Minute as I do each and every week. I want to hear about your desires for 1031 exchange, what you're looking for, and if you're an active real estate investor here in Kansas City, would love to hear your feedback. So let's get right into it. We're looking at LoopNet, which is a lot of the commercial multifamily properties. If they're listed, they're going to be listed here. This is the MLS. So let's look at LoopNet. Here's the last couple weeks. All right. So we already looked at this property here in Parkville, which is a newer constructed building built in 2023. So we're not going to talk a ton about this. Obviously, we all like this area and love this style of building. It's not unpriced. My guess is it's probably several hundred thousand, maybe even $300,000 per unit, maybe even more than that. So that's typically not what we deal with. However, if you want to dive into that property with us, would love to, as I do think it's an amazing location and likely a great product. All right, so the other opportunity here that LoopNet is showing for us is this property on the plaza. It's essentially 100 units plus some retail space, plus some office space. Very classic country club plaza, high-rise apartment complex. These typically don't come up for sale very often. I do think, and I've looked at the numbers a lot on this in the past. I think it's a hefty price tag. However, if someone is really wanting to get into the plaza or expand their plaza footprint and have sort of a trophy asset, this could be that property. It was floating around last year for somewhere around 30 million. And looks like they've come down on their price a little bit to 28 million, but it's 100 units. So you're looking at $280,000 per unit. I know there's some retail and office space in there, but they need a lot of upgrading. I think the building condition is probably fine. It's great, but you can see really where it's at. It's in an amazing location off Warnell Road, and it essentially overlooks the plaza here. If we go to the aerial map, you can really see here's the hotels. This is actually up on a hill. Amazing location. Doesn't really get any better than this. It's also pretty quiet, surprisingly quiet area. So anyway, that is a trophy style asset that is out there that you can take a look at and see if it fits into your investment criteria. If you're in that range of the $30 million, looks like some of the units are pretty nice. Some of the other units are maybe needing some upgrades, but you can see really where it's at and what it could be. That's $280,000 a unit. We talked about that brand new construction project that might be 300,000 plus. So you kind of got to weigh your pros and cons of what you're really looking for in an asset in Kansas City like this. Love the location, love the building. Really comes down to you and what you're looking for from an investment standpoint. Okay. So that's all I'm going to cover on LoopNet. I'll actually go back here just so we can get our bearings here. So there's nothing else that's new in the last week. We already talked about that one. So that's LoopNet. Let's head on over to the MLS, which Zillow powers for us, and take a look and see if there's much new here. I believe we've actually covered this duplex and this triplex here on these two properties, also near the right next to the Country Club Plaza. And then we have this property here, which is right next to KU Med. I'm not sure if we covered it or not, but it's a great location, great little property. 12 units for 1.2 million. To me, that's a no-brainer there in terms of price per unit. It's probably got some good bones and just needs a little bit of upgrading over time if you want to. But this location right here is absolutely blowing up. You can see this darker gray. That's KU Med Research Hospital. It's the largest hospital in the area, and it can't go any further east because of state line here because it's Kansas University. This is Missouri side. But, a lot of economic development up and down 39th Street here. All right. Let's scroll back out and see what we have here. All right. So this package here is actually single family homes. I'm not going to cover that. It's, I think, although, on paper, it seemed like a fine enough deal. Yeah. So 18 single family homes. Okay. Some are rented, some are vacant, a lot of 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. If you're in that package, that looks like a pretty good price considering the price per house, so to speak. So, if you want to take a look at a single family home package, they've got typically low owner expenses as long as you've got them fixed up pretty nice. So, happy to look at that together. All right. $2 million for 18 houses. Not bad. And then the only other property on here is this 8 units, which I feel like we've covered in the past as well, or at least I have in my mind. But it is, yeah, 2 fourplexes and parking lots. So we've already covered this one next to KU Med as well. It's what I would call classic standard finishes, but it's, modern enough considering the age of the buildings and some parking lot here. Another one that is not a bad deal based on a price per unit. Okay. So some interesting observations anecdotally, price per units become more reasonable for the most part over the last month or two. And we'll kind of see how this shakes out. Today is September 19th. Federal Reserve is poised to meet today and tomorrow regarding interest rates. Projection is that they will hold steady. We'll see what happens there. If they hold steady, that's great news for us investors and property owners, and looking forward to that. I did want to take a look quickly at the August multifamily sales. This is the recorded sales that occurred in the metro. That's 750,000 plus or so in August. So obviously not a ton. Okay, we had actually more than this in July, but just quickly what we've got Shawnee, which is Johnson County, great submarket, 182,000 a unit. I saw this fourplex come online. We covered it here, and I knew it would go quickly because of what we've done in the past in Johnson County. Grain Valley here, 6 units for 800,000. I'm not surprised by that either. Because of the submarket, it's a great Eastern Jackson County submarket. Then we've got a couple of urban core properties that are above $100,000 a unit. Again, no surprise there. This Shawnee property, a lot of people came back to me and said, "Hey, look, Alex, how come I didn't know about this?" Well, it did hit the market. However, we all knew in the broker world that this would go quickly, and probably had some competing offers here on these sets of properties in Johnson County. And then this is kind of an unconfirmed here, 38th and Walnut, 13 units. That was the asking price of 1.2 million. And then a couple of other properties that sold here, 41 units in Kansas City, Missouri, off East 9th Street, which I'm very familiar with. Perry Place, close to the new baseball stadium, did finally close. And then this large property in Montgall, which is South Kansas City, 300 plus units. We don't know the price per unit on that, but that was a large complex. So that was a relatively interesting month. I mean, to me, every month on sales is interesting to see where things trade and trend. And this was pretty much as expected in terms of what we know that sold. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today. This is Alex Olson with Xchange Commercial Real Estate and the Multifamily Minute. And we will look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.